It started as a joke. A DNA test. One of those ancestry kits you get from Amazon, wrapped in plastic and promises. My son thought it would be a cool Father's Day surprise. He was 12. Didn't know he was handing me a loaded gun. He bounced into the kitchen that morning, blonde like his mom, with my stubborn chin. "Happy Father's Day," he said, and dropped the box on the table. "We can see if we're part Viking or something." Emily laughed. That soft, musical sound I used to fall asleep to. She wrapped her arms around me from behind and kissed my neck. "Maybe you'll find out you're royalty," she teased. I smiled. But something in her voice felt rehearsed. We mailed the kit that afternoon. Forgot about it. Or, at least, they did. I didn't. Because something had already started to gnaw at me weeks before. It was little things. The way Emily started locking her phone again. The text she got at 11:37 p.m. and said it was just Stacy from work. How she started wearing lipstick when she went grocery shopping. How she began sleeping in silk again. She hadn't worn silk in 2 years. Then there were the nights she came home flushed. Hair mussed. A softness in her walk like her body had already told a story. She'd kiss me on the cheek, fingers cold, perfume unfamiliar. And once, I caught her humming. It wasn't the tune that broke me. It was the fact that it was his favorite song. Nathan. My former best friend. My former best man. The guy I cut out of our lives 3 years ago when he crossed a line with Emily at a New Year's party. Or so I thought. The DNA results came back 3 weeks later. I opened them alone. I don't remember reading all the science. Just this line. Paternal probability, 0%. I stared at it. Then again. And again. And then I laughed. Laughed so hard I thought I was choking. Because the one thing she swore, was never in question, was that I was his father. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I waited. Watched. Listened. And the next day, I did something I never thought I'd do. I followed her. She parked in front of a small brick apartment complex. Walked in with confidence. No looking back. I waited 15 minutes. Then I walked up. Her car was still running. I went to the second floor, where a light was on. Door cracked. And that's when I heard it. Her voice. Low. Breathy. His name. Nathan. I didn't open the door. I didn't need to. Because the next sound said everything. Her moan, soft, slow, intimate, not the kind you fake. The sound that told me they weren't just cheating. They'd never stopped. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my truck across the street from Nathan's apartment, engine off, knuckles white around the steering wheel. Emily came out just after midnight. Hair tied up. Wearing the hoodie I gave her 3 Christmases ago. She paused at her car, looked around. I slid down in the seat, barely breathing. She didn't see me. Didn't feel me watching her walk back to our family like nothing happened. Like she hadn't just torn my world in half for the second time. The next morning, I played it normal. Made pancakes. Asked our son about school. Kissed Emily goodbye like always. But something inside me had cracked and hardened overnight. I wasn't her husband anymore. I was her shadow. And I was done playing dumb. That night, while she was in the shower, I entered investigator mode. I didn't check her phone, she'd cleaned it already, I was sure. I checked her car. Her gym bag. The coat she always wore on errand days. Nothing. Until I got to our bedroom. The drawer on her side of the bed. It had always been off limits, not by rule, just by rhythm. I opened it. There were receipts. Loose Advil. A small journal. And under that, a black velvet box. I opened it. A necklace. Not just any necklace. A silver bar pendant engraved with N+E. I froze. Not our initials. His. I closed the drawer. Sat on the edge of the bed. He'd given her jewelry. And she kept it beside the bed where we made love. Where we whispered about forever. Where we read bedtime stories to our son between tickle fights and pillow forts. She had built a shrine to her affair in our sanctuary. I started recording everything. Every whisper. Every text screenshot I could recover from the cloud. Every location ping from her GPS history. I wasn't planning a confrontation. Not yet. I was building a case. Not for court. For clarity. For me. So I would never question again whether I was overreacting. 2 nights later, she said she was going out with Jenna. I nodded. Tell her I said hi. She kissed me on the cheek. Same perfume. Same soft lie. I followed her again. But this time, I came prepared. I left a small digital recorder under the seat of her car earlier that day. Voice activated. Long battery. Then I followed from a distance. Parked nearby. She went into the same building. Nathan's. She stayed for 2 hours. When she came back, she looked different. Less cautious. Almost radiant. I didn't listen to the recording right away. I waited until she fell asleep. I sat in the garage. Headphones in. Hands shaking. The first 30 minutes were mundane. Doors closing. Footsteps. A laugh. Then this. Do you ever feel guilty? Her voice. Sometimes. You were with him today. I can smell him on your hair. A soft laugh. So possessive. Then, silence. Then the sound of lips. Shifting bodies. A moan. Then her voice again. We should have run years ago. His. It's not too late. Hers. It will be when he finds out the truth. Long pause. About what? The test. He did the test. Silence. Then panic. He knows. Not yet. But if he does. I lose everything. I stopped the recording. Sat in the dark. And whispered to myself. You already have. The next morning, I made French toast. Real cinnamon. Real syrup. Even whipped cream from the can, the kind our son loved. Emily looked at me like I'd grown a second head. What's all this for? She asked. I smiled. Just felt like a family morning. She looked suspicious. Then softened. I'd learned something about liars, they love comfort. They don't resist forgiveness, they crave it. Even if they don't deserve it. Especially when they know what they've done. That night, I lit candles. Made pasta from scratch. Put on the jazz station she used to like. Our son was sleeping over at a friend's. Just us. Like old times. She came downstairs in that blue dress, the one I used to beg her to wear. I could almost pretend we were okay. Almost. Dinner was quiet at first. Wine. Laughter. Memories we both pretended still felt good. Then I leaned back and said. You know. I got my DNA results back. Her fork paused. Then slowly lowered. Oh. Anything interesting? I sipped my wine. Apparently. I'm 100% not the father. She blinked. Hard. The mask cracked, just slightly. What do you mean? I pulled the folded paper from my pocket and placed it beside her plate. She didn't touch it. Just stared at it like it might explode. "It's a mistake," she said too quickly. I smiled. That's what I thought. But then I remembered something else. I reached under the table. Pulled out a small black box. Placed it beside the test. She didn't open it. Didn't have to. "Nathan's gift," I said softly. "Lovely engraving." She closed her eyes. "Daniel." And then, I continued, I found the GPS logs. The voice recordings. The receipts. The hotel apps on your hidden email. The one that auto-forwarded to your deleted folder. Clever, by the way. Silence. "How long?" I asked. She didn't answer. "How long have I been a joke to you?" Still nothing. So I leaned in. Voice calm. Even. "You slept beside me. Ate the food I made. Let me raise a son who looks nothing like me. And all the while, you were giving pieces of yourself to a man I once called brother." Her voice broke. It wasn't supposed to go this far. I laughed. That line again. She started crying. Big, broken sobs that might have moved me once. But not anymore. "What do you want me to say?" she choked out. "That I'm a monster. That I used you. That I lied." I shook my head. "No. I want you to tell me one truth." She looked up. Mascara running. "What truth?" I leaned in closer. "Was there ever a moment, even one, when you looked at me and felt guilt?" Long silence. Then. "Yes." I stood. Pushed my chair in. "That's the moment I stopped loving you." She tried to follow me as I left the dining room. But I turned back. "Don't. I have nothing left to say. But I'll be in court Monday morning." Her eyes went wide. "Court? For custody. For full rights. You don't get to raise a child in lies." She reached for me. I stepped back. "I already raised one that wasn't mine. I won't do it again for someone who never was." That night, I slept in a guest room. Not because I had to. But because I refused to breathe the same air as her anymore. Emily didn't move out. Not right away. Instead, she did what every cheater does when they're caught, she morphed into the victim. Tears in the kitchen. "I need help. I thought you'd understand." It was a moment of weakness. "You were distant. Always working. Too calm." I didn't argue. I didn't explode. Silence became my sharpest blade. Then came the worst part. She started using our son. "He cries when you're not around. He said he wants us back together. He asked if you still love him." It crushed me. Not because I believed her, but because I knew she knew where it would hurt most. One night, Micah came into the guest room holding his toy microscope. He crawled onto the bed beside me, his big, honest eyes confused. "Are you still my daddy?" My throat locked up. I pulled him close. "Are you still my boy?" He nodded. Then yes. Always. Emily switched tactics. She began sending emails, long, emotionally manipulative, desperate. "We don't have to go to court. I know I messed up, but you weren't perfect either. We can rebuild, even try therapy. Micah shouldn't suffer for this." But never once did she write the words. "I'm sorry." Not once. I ignored her messages. Until someone I least expected reached out to me. Nathan's sister. Kristen. We knew each other, of course. She was at our wedding, at Micah's birthday parties. Quiet. Smart. Observant. "I need to talk to you," her message read. "Off the record. Just you and me." We met at a cafe 2 blocks from my house. She looked nervous, pale, but determined. She slid a manila envelope across the table. "I'm not here to defend him," she began. "I just couldn't stay quiet anymore." "Why now?" I asked. Her hands trembled. "Because he's doing it again. To someone else. And she's pregnant." Silence. Then she added. "I found this on his old laptop. Anne. I think you deserve to see it." Inside were printed emails. Chat logs. Screenshots. From him. From Emily. Dated a full year before I'd ever suspected. "He'll never know. You make me feel alive again. If we get caught, I'll lie. I'm good at it." I closed the folder slowly. "You just handed me everything," I said. She nodded. "You deserve to win this." "It's not about winning anymore," I said quietly. "It's about cleansing." That night, I gave everything to my lawyer. "File for full custody," I told her. "No mediation. No shared rights." "With this," she said, flipping through the documents. "You're not asking. You're taking." The next morning, Emily stormed into the house, eyes bloodshot. "You're trying to take Micah away from me?" I didn't flinch. "He's not a pawn. You don't get to weaponize him. He's my son." I looked her dead in the eye. "He's our son. But you made me raise him in a house of lies. You can't do this." "I already did. Why are you punishing me?" "I'm not," I said. "I'm just making sure you never get to do this again. To me. To him. To anyone. Court isn't dramatic like in movies. No slamming gavels. No gasps from the gallery. Just gray carpets, tired eyes, and truth tucked behind paperwork and performance." Emily came dressed like regret. Soft blue blouse. Clean makeup. Hair pulled back like she was mourning. She didn't look like the woman I caught gasping Nathan's name through a cracked apartment door. She looked like someone trying to win an Oscar. Our lawyers spoke first. Facts. Documents. The DNA test. The recordings. The digital footprint of betrayal. Emily didn't contest any of it. She just sat still, trembling occasionally, like she wanted the judge to see her as fragile. When asked if she had anything to say, she stood, placed a hand over her stomach, like that gesture might anchor her to maternal ground, and said, "I made a terrible mistake. But I love my son more than I love my own life. I want to do better. I will do better." She cried. Even I almost believed her. Almost. Then it was my turn. I didn't deliver a speech. Didn't tear her down. I just said. I raised Micah thinking he was my son in blood and spirit. Turns out, I was wrong about the first part. But not the second. And that's why I'm standing here, not to hurt her. But to protect him. The judge nodded. Then asked a question that surprised both lawyers. Would the child be willing to speak? Briefly. Informally. Emily's eyes widened. I nodded slowly. Micah was brought in, escorted gently by a court child advocate. He looked so small in that big room. But when he saw me, he smiled and waved. Emily waved too. He didn't wave back. The judge smiled warmly. "Hey there, buddy. How are you feeling today?" Micah shrugged. "Okay. I had cereal." Everyone chuckled softly. "Can I ask you a question?" Micah nodded. "Do you feel safe with your mommy and daddy?" Another shrug. "I guess. Who do you feel most happy with?" Micah smiled. "Daddy." Emily blinked hard. Then the judge asked. "And why is that?" Silence. Then Micah said. Because when mommy hugs me, it feels like she's not really there. The room froze. Emily's head dropped. The judge cleared his throat. Thank you, Micah. That's all I needed. Micah was taken outside again. And in that one sentence, he said what I'd spent months trying to explain. That love isn't just presence. It's presence of soul. Of truth. Of care. Emily may have been physically present. But even our child felt the emotional distance she couldn't fake her way through. That day, the judge ruled in my favor. Full custody. Visitation rights for Emily, supervised only. Her lawyer looked stunned. She didn't cry this time. She just sat there, hollow. I didn't look at her again. Later that night, as I tucked Micah in, he whispered. Am I in trouble? I kissed his forehead. Never. You told the truth. And the truth is never wrong. He looked at me sleepily. Do we still have cereal? I laughed. You better believe it. For 2 weeks after the hearing, Emily vanished. No calls. No emails. No attempts to fight the decision. It was strange. Almost peaceful. Micah adjusted quickly. Kids are like that. Resilient in ways we can't explain. We went for walks. Ate too many pancakes. He told me I smelled like safe. And for once, I started believing I might actually be okay. Then, one Friday afternoon, she showed up. No makeup. Hair undone. Hoodie, jeans, and the kind of eyes that looked like they hadn't held sleep in days. I opened the door. Said nothing. She stood there, silent, until her hands started to shake. Can I talk to you? I hesitated. Then stepped aside. Not for her. For closure. We sat at opposite ends of the kitchen table. Like we had so many times before. Except this time, there was no dinner. No laughter. Just history layered over 1,000 unsaid words. She looked at her hands. I know you hate me. I didn't reply. You should. I hate me too. Still nothing. I ruined everything. And not just with you. With him, too. I looked up. Nathan? She nodded slowly. He moved to Florida. Said he doesn't do consequences. Of course he doesn't. She took a deep breath. I never wanted to hurt you. I didn't know how to tell you I was unhappy. I let that hang in the air like a bad smell. So you chose betrayal? I chose cowardice, she whispered. And I lost everything. Not everything, I said. You still get to visit Micah. Her voice cracked. But he looks at me like he's waiting for someone else. Maybe he is, I said. Someone who doesn't lie to him. She wiped her face. I'm not asking you to take me back. God, I wouldn't. But I needed you to know that I'm sorry. That every day since I lost you both, I've woken up with this weight. Like I'm drowning in myself. She stood. You can hate me. You have every right to. I just needed you to know that I'm trying to be better. Then she walked to the door. Paused. Mike is lucky to have you. I hope one day he knows how much. She left. And I let her. I didn't cry. I didn't feel vindicated. Just sad. Sad for the man who loved her. Sad for the woman who couldn't hold love. Sad for the boy who had to grow up learning that even people who say they love you, can lie. Later that night, I sat beside Micah while he colored in dinosaurs. Hey, I said. You know how sometimes people make really big mistakes? He nodded, eyes still focused. And they want to fix them, but it doesn't always mean we let them back in. He looked up. Like when I broke your favorite mug. I smiled. Exactly. We glued it back. But it still had a crack. Yeah, I said. It did. He looked down. Mommy's like that mug. My heart twisted. Yeah, buddy. She is. He thought for a second. Then quietly said. Maybe we don't drink from it again. But we don't throw it away either. I pulled him into a hug. Kids, they see the world clearer than we ever could. 3 years passed. Micah turned 15 last week. He's taller now. Deeper voice. Still keeps his toy microscope on his shelf, even though he pretends it's just for nostalgia. He's smart. Kind. Sometimes quiet, sometimes loud. But always honest. Like someone who grew up watching truth burn lies to the ground. Emily visits once a month. Supervised at first, then slowly with more freedom. She got sober. Got therapy. Got quiet. She works at a bookstore now. Never remarried. Never really asked to. She smiles more with Micah now. But he still keeps a little distance. Some part of him remembers. On his birthday, he got dozens of gifts. Headphones. A basketball jersey. Cash from my sister. But there was one gift that came in an envelope. No name on it. Just. For Daniel. Micah handed it to me like it was radioactive. You gonna open it? Eventually. I waited until he went to sleep. Sat at the kitchen table under a soft lamp. Same table where I confronted her. Same table where I forgave myself. The envelope was thin. Neat handwriting. No perfume. I opened it. It was a letter. From Emily. Daniel. Asterisk today, he turned 15. And you're still the only father he knows. Because you never ran. Even when I gave you every reason to. I used to think betrayal was a moment. A mistake. But it's not. It's a choice repeated over and over until it becomes a person you no longer recognize. You survived that person. I didn't, asterisk. I won't ask for anything. Not for space. Not for redemption. Just for one thing. Don't let my shadow follow you into what comes next. Burn it here. Thank you for raising him. Thank you for being better than I ever deserved. E. I folded the letter. Didn't cry. Didn't curse. Just exhaled. Micah came downstairs later to sneak a second slice of cake. He saw me sitting there. You okay? Yeah, I said. Just thinking. He nodded. Grabbed a fork. You know, I don't really remember when everything changed, he said. But I remember who stayed. I smiled. That's all that matters. Because sometimes, the end of a story isn't a slam. It's a door quietly closing. With the wind behind you. And sunlight ahead.